conversations on Thursdays with the Fashionista Professor. So today we're going to continue with some of the questions that you guys had for me on my DM on Instagram and Facebook. And so one of the questions that you guys, I assume it was one of the subscribers that asked was, what do I miss most about living in Nigeria? So I had the opportunity to give some thoughts, and the response is rather long-winded about what I miss most about living in Nigeria, and the attendance question, why did I leave Nigeria? So I'm going to go ahead and answer the question about what I miss most about living in Nigeria. So let's see. I miss a lot of things. and don't get me wrong, I do love living in America, and I do love the independence that I have achieved as a professional woman in America. You've got to understand that when I was living in Nigeria, I was living in my parents' house. And so when you live in your parents' house, you have to abide by the rules. You know, my parents, according to them, if you were living like them, by golly, you have to be fabulously brilliant. You have to ace all your tests and stuff like that. You know, in order to get pocket money, you have to be a very good student. Actually, I find that a little bit with my case in America, but that's another story. So, so I do appreciate living in America, and I do love it. But of course, you know, there are some disadvantages. So let me go ahead and try to distill for you all what I miss about living in Nigeria. So, and you have to take that in context. You guys have to take that in context, considering the fact that in Nigeria I was a kid. I graduated with my specialist degree in parasitology and entomology at the age of 19 and married my ex-husband and came to America. So, you know, I wasn't really seriously an adult when I was in Africa. So my perspective might be colored by that. So I'd like you guys to bear that in mind as you listen to my response to that question. So I miss having the cook the food for us. I don't like to cook, as most of you guys know. I absolutely detest cooking, and one of the reasons why I detest cooking is that I'll put something, I'm a very impatient person. I can be very, very impatient. And so I'll put something on the fire, like I love beans. So if I'm making beans, which takes a rather long time to make, I put it on the fire and I go upstairs to the third or the fourth floor where my office is. And I forget, I start answering emails or whatever. And I don't remember till the fire alarm goes off. And by then, of course, the food is burnt. So if I had to, if we're having a dinner party or something like that, and everybody's there, and I'm cooking with everybody there, and I don't leave, I can be a very, very good cook or decent cook. But generally, I don't like cooking. So if you guys know, I don't like breakfast. I don't like breakfast. So I just eat lunch, and my lunch is usually bananas, oranges and kiwi. I like dinner, throwback from growing up in Africa where I love dinner. So I love dinners, and I'll usually have beans or wraps or salad or something like that. But anyway, so I do miss, back to my original response, I do miss having someone to cook. I do miss having someone to drive me, having a driver or chauffeur. And I do especially miss the fact that you don't wonder whether somebody is behaving a certain way towards you because of your ethnicity. In America, when, supposing you have a position that is, that you're qualified for, that you seem to be the right fit for, and that all indicate points to you and you don't get it. There is always that modicum of wondering if you did not get it because you're freeze. And of course, you know, when you couple that with the racial microaggressions that you face at work, in daily life, and stuff like that, it begins to wear on the psyche. When I was back home in Africa, you know, up till 19, remember I left Nigeria at 19, I never had to wonder about that. If somebody didn't like me, it was because they didn't like me because I talked too much, I was aggressive, so that was there. But never, ooh la la, is because of your ethnicity. So that was never a thought that entered my mind when I was there. So, you know, being cognizant of the racial undertones and the racial microaggressions, both in your everyday life and at work, you know, is one of the big differences. I mean, apart from the fact that I miss having someone to cook for me and drive the car, that is the biggest one that I can think of. I mean, there are other little things I love, you know, because we had mangoes, you know, the big estate that we lived in when I was growing up, we had mangoes, and picking fresh mangoes that are ripened from the sun and eating them, and you have the juices dripping down your cheeks and you lick them all off. I mean, whoo, la la. That I miss, because in America I've never found mango as sweet and as fresh as sun-kissed mangoes or cashews, you know, not the cashew nut, the actual cashew. So I do miss some of the food, well, quite a bit of the food, and I don't know how to cook the food. Especially I love the soups, you know, the egusi, the okra, the what do you call it, ora. I love them because, you know, they're vegetables, and then I usually eat it with without oats, fufu. So I miss that, and occasionally if I travel to somewhere like Atlanta or New York and I happen to go to a Nigerian restaurant, I really do appreciate that. So I think that in a ballpark is what I miss. I remember when, you know, I told my dad that I was going to marry my ex-husband, who is an American professor. One of the things he said to me, he was like, you know, here, you know, everybody knows who the family is. Almost everybody that you come in contact knows who you are. Over there, nobody knows you, and you're gonna have to forge a path for yourself. And he was like, are you willing to do that? And of course, with the exuberance of youth, I said, but of course, surely, Daddy. And he said, okay. So anyway, so those are the things, you know, that come to mind when I'm asked the question, what do I miss about Nigeria? With regards to driving, whoo la la, it took me a while to get to be a very good driver in America. So maybe I should, I'll say this and then we get back to what brought me to America. So I'll say this real quick. So when I came to America, after I got married at the age of 19, and my ex-husband brought me over where he was teaching as a professor. And he was so excited. He had gotten me, I think it was a Toyota Sport, you know, like the manual sporty car, coupe or something. I guess he thought I was gonna be excited. Yeah, I guess, you know, girls love sports cars or something like that. It was a coupe and it had manual transmission. Well, you have to understand that I had never driven before in my life. And so he had to teach me how to drive that car. And my thing was like, of all the cars you had to buy for me, you had to buy a manual, especially considering the fact that I've never driven before. So it was quite a struggle for me learning how to drive that manual transmission. And an interesting thing that I share with my students is that, you know, like how you're at the red light and, you know, there is an incline, and so you stop at the red light. So when the light turns to green and you're about to start your car, there is a sort of maneuvering that you have to do with the clutch and the brake and the speed, the accelerator, which I never quite mastered. And so usually when I stop and I have to start, I go backwards. And so that can be quite a problem when there are cars behind you. So initially, I remember the first year after I got my driver's license. Don't ask me how I managed to get my driver's license. After I passed, I got my driver's license. For the first year, when I would get to red light, I'll either wave at the people when it turns to green, I'll wave at the people behind me to go ahead, and they will go ahead. Or sometimes when I was feeling quite desperate, I mean, I would not advise you to do this at home. Sometimes when I was feeling quite desperate, I would get out of the car, go to the car behind me, and in my nice, accented voice say, "Ooh la la, could you please do me the favor of moving my car past the hill? I'll stop by the sides while you do that." And you know, they're usually short. I mean, but then again, I think with the accent, they're like, "Ooh la la," you know, she's not from here, so we can excuse her. And so I've never had one say, "Ooh la la, I'm not gonna move the car for you." So they'll move it, you know, past the incline and park it on the other side. You know, they park their car to the car, get into my car with the key, and then drive it for me while I'm standing by the side of the road. And then I'll say, "Thank you, take my keys and get into the car and go." I remember that was decades ago. My students will ask me, or my friends will ask me, "Aren't you afraid the guy will run off with the car?" I mean, you know, if they wanted to run off the car, they could run off the car, you know, or report the car stolen. I mean, because if they steal it, you know, hopefully I could get, what do you call it, automatic transmission. I mean, it never occurred to me, but the bottom line was it never occurred to me that they would steal the car. Remember, I was newly just arrived, and I had the sentiments I had back in Enugu, you know, where everybody knew who you were, nobody was going to steal your car if you told them to move it for you. So I guess, in a nutshell, I was very, very naive. So that's it. I was very naive. But yeah, I do miss having someone drive me. But I must say, I'm a very good driver now. So I used to get a lot of tickets, but I haven't gotten tickets in the past few years. Knock on wood. So yeah, so those are some of the things that I miss about being in Enugu. But I must say, I love the independence of being able to get in my car and just go wherever. If I want to go to the mall to pick up something, just get into your car and go. I love that, and I don't think I want to go back to being driven by a driver. Though sometimes, you know, it'd be nice to have somebody drive you. Like when I was in a relationship, my ex used to drive all the time. You know, when we went to galas and stuff like that. But you know, if I'm by myself, I need to go to the mall, I need to go to the store, I need to do something like that, I'll just go ahead and drive myself. So yeah, I would say sometimes I miss that, but I think I'm solidly grounded now in my independence, in being able to drive wherever I want to drive to, and not having to wait for a driver. Because when we're growing up in Enugu, we had 3 chauffeurs, one for my dad, one for my mom, and one for the kids. And you guys remember, I have 3 siblings, so 4 kids, and so you guys had to share the car. And so usually in summer when we didn't have to go to school, it was usually a question of first come, first serve. If you wake up early and get dressed early to go to where you want to go to, the driver will take you, while the other siblings will have to wait till, you know, the driver came back or something like that. So that was a little bit inconvenient. So, but that was my reality growing up, and now I am used to driving myself, and so yeah. I mean, those were some of the issues. And another thing I'll have to say, and then we'll start today. Back home, when you get gas, you pull your car up and they put the gas for you. You don't have to worry about knowing how to get gas. So when I first came here, my ex used to take the car and put the gas in it for me. I never, somehow, it was something that just did not come into my consciousness. So I never thought about it. You know, there was always gas in the car. One day he traveled and I ran out of gas and I didn't know how to put gas in the car. So I drove to a gas station and there was a gentleman there putting gas, and I didn't know how to operate the thing. I had never done it in my life and I just was not inclined to be interested. You know, when my ex-husband would say, well, let me go gas for your car, he would take the car and put gas in it for me. So there I was at the gas station, and my tank was showing empty. I mean, I didn't know how empty it was. I mean, I just freaked out. It was showing empty, and my ex had gone on a conference and he wasn't going to be back till a week later. So I walked over to the guy and I was like, I walked over to the gentleman and I was like, Lila, I've run out of gas and I really don't know how to put gas in my car. I've never done it before. My ex used to do it. Would you be kind enough to show me how to do it? And he actually did, and he actually used his credit card, because I was like, okay, so what do I do? He said, you get out your credit card and you insert it like this, you, I guess, you know, he inserted it and, you know, put his pin or whatever, and then he took the pump and then popped my gas. And so I was like, thank you very much. So I had enough gas till the end of the week, and when my ex came back from his travel, I was like, please, show me how to put gas in the car, such that I won't have to ask anybody again. That was when I learned how to put gas in the car, about a year or thereabouts, after I had been living in America. So we are gonna stop here today, and if you have any comments, comment down below and let me know. And like I said, trying to be as direct as possible, and yeah, so that was my reality. And so I don't know whether you all can appreciate that I have come a long way from the young kid from Enugu, and I'm now this independent woman. So I do appreciate that, and I say that a lot, especially when you know, coming from going to visiting other African countries where there is a lot of paternalism, you know, there is that paternalistic mindset. I do appreciate the fact that, you know, I've come a long way from that young girl that needed a driver to drive her around town. So we're going to stop here. So till next conversation with the Fashionista Professor, thank you so much. And now I'm going to go ahead and showcase this fabulous outfit that I wore for the interview. So let me go ahead and do the Fashionista Professor runway and modeling of the outfit, or dancing, because you guys know I usually dance when I model my outfits. A remnant of the fact that I used to dance as a kid, and it was my form of pleasure, happy place, and exercise. I was a very hyper little kid. Okay then, so let's go ahead to the modeling. Music, hit it! of this fabulous faux pearl and crystal and feather dress. And I started with the matching shoes and feathers and with crystal bracelet. And this is actually Ethiopian opal and amethyst in sterling silver. And this is a cultured pearl with silver and cultured pearl in silver and gold. And tanzanite necklace in solid sterling silver. And then my crystal tiara. I did not feel like getting the diamond one from the bank or the jeweler's vault. So I had to do with my crystal tiara. So, but anyway, this dress is very comfortable. It's a size small. It's from Fashionnova. It is it's a little bit too big for me. I would have preferred it to have been tighter. But apart from that, I really love the look. I think it's very elegant. I think it's very beautiful. It's fabulous for dinner. But thank you so much for watching, and thank you so much for being with us, and thank you so much for joining us for conversations with the Fashionista Professor. Stay tuned for more conversations with the Fashionista Professor, and you guys continue to stay safe and social distance. Until next time when I upload a vlog, kisses from far away, kisses from far away, kisses from far away. Que messia. Mwah!